good morning to your friends, and hope you are doing well, and welcome on into your Friday. Nashville's Morning News is powered by Tennessee National Golf and Waterfront Community. Man, we are looking at a really good weekend, and yes, indeed, it is Friday, so let's get out and enjoy it as quickly as we can. Joan, how are you feeling about the midterm elections on this Friday? You feeling positive? I said earlier that I'm actually feeling really positive for the midterm elections. I think good things are ahead.
I do too. I really do too. And I think that it really helped, the State of the Union really helped to separate the wheat from the chaff, as they say. You know, it really showed the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats and their dark, evil hearts.
Yes, their dark, evil hearts is a great way to put it. And, you know, I think that, and we had E.J. Antoni yesterday talking about the economy. He's not the only one that is saying that the economy is showing really good signs of recovery, and we've got months before November 3rd. So I think you're right, Joan. I think that, you know, people talk about, you know, Donald Trump and 3D chess. It is clear that when Trump is playing chess or that 3D chess, the other side is playing checkers. And so when you look at how the Democrats reacted to that moment where Donald Trump said, stand up if you believe that it is the government's, first job to protect its citizens, and you had all of these conservatives stand up and applaud, and you had all of those, Democrats just sitting there doing nothing, bumps on logs, looking like they're sucking on a lemon like Nancy Pelosi, screaming at the president like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. They just can't help themselves, and I love it. So now this headline from the Washington Post. GOP stays competitive for the midterms, according to the Washington Post. Oh. So the State of the Union, really does mark, as you know, and we talked about this, it really does mark the beginning of the midterm election cycle. And how do the Republicans look? Not terrible, according to, again, an unlikely source, the Washington Post. So just briefly with some numbers, Trump is, we all know, if you believe in the polling, whatever. I'm going to keep this short because I know that some of you are yelling at the radio. Trump is not popular and has had some negative numbers, registered voters recently. But here's the thing. Those numbers are actually now starting to get better. The problem, according to the Washington Post, is that Americans simply don't trust Democrats to handle the nation's biggest problems. And gee, I wonder why. It's because they behave like children. If the midterm elections were held today, registered voters are nearly split between Republicans and Democrats. Again, if the election were held today. Now, the reason why that is important is because traditionally, history shows, everyone knows, that history is not on the Republican side. Usually the party in power ends up losing in the midterm elections. That is just something that happens. We all know that happens. But listen to this one line, because I pulled this one line because I find it really interesting. Because it's meant to be an insult, but it's really a positive to me. Donald Trump's overall disapproval rating is at 60%. This is important. Donald Trump's overall disapproval rating is at 60%, marking the highest numerical disapproval of his second term and matching his disapproval rating as he left office after his first term in January of 2021. So Donald Trump is just as unpopular now, they say, as he was when he left office in January of 2021. Do you know what that tells me? That tells me that clearly good things are ahead because Donald Trump was ultimately reelected for president, right? Now, I do understand Donald Trump is not on the ballot, so on and so forth, and I do understand that. But that tells you that even though Donald Trump is not on the ballot and he is incredibly unpopular, here's the deal. The American people remember what it was like under Democrat rule. It was horrible. And so it's going to take a lot for the Democrats to rebuild that trust. Now, here's my question. Did you see anything in their behavior during the midterm elections? Did you see anything that would rebuild that trust during the State of the Union? No. They behaved horribly, and they didn't do anything to rebuild that trust with the American people. So when you look at the wide open borders, when you look at the well over 9% inflation rate, when you look at the crime that happened under the Biden administration, when you look at when you look at the gaslighting, when you look at the complete and utter lie that they told regarding Joe Biden's cognitive decline, all of these things, they're still behaving like that, folks. And so the American people see that, and they don't trust the Democrat Party. And so Donald Trump may be as unpopular as he ever has been, but when he was unpopular the first time, guess what happened? He got reelected. So I don't think that anything, I'm not going to say that, all is not lost. I think that we still have a really good chance at the midterm elections. And I'm really pumped for 2028. I mean, I'm really pumped for a number of different reasons, some of which I just talked about, but also because I do believe, Chris and I were talking about this the other day, where you talk about even the, we've got the big two, right? We've got J.D. Vance, we've got Marco Rubio. And so those are the big two candidates for the presidential election in 2028. But even when you look at our B team, I would say Glenn Youngkin is part of the B team, former governor for the state of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, or Ron DeSantis. Even our B team kicks the crap out of their A team. Because I could see a Glenn Youngkin or a Ron DeSantis kicking the crap out of Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris. I mean, easy peasy. I mean, there's some audio out there today of Gavin Newsom. I played it earlier, of Newsom sounding especially dumb. And, by the way, also especially worried. J.D. Vance, on his biggest struggle at the State of the Union, this is what he had to say. And again, this is J.D. Vance and what he had to say about the Democrats and their behavior.
That they were doing. And I got to tell you, of course, I've got the best seat in the House in many ways, right? I'm sitting right next to the Speaker of the House. I'm sitting right behind the President of the United States. And I've got one internal monologue going on, one thought in my head the whole time, which is don't make a stupid face for 2 hours, which is hard for me.
Well, you know what? When you're watching the Democrats behave the way that they are, the last thing you want to do is distract from what they're doing. And I think that the president did such a great job at basically lassoing them in. I want to play this audio. This is Wesley Hunt. And Wesley Hunt, he is a Republican out of Texas. I really like Wesley Hunt. He's talking to Stephen A. Smith, and they're talking about Gavin Newsom. Now, we know that what Gavin Newsom said in front of black voters, I had a 960 SAT, and I can't read, right? Everybody knows that. Even Democrats, I don't know if you've seen this, Joan, but even Democrats are facepalming over what Gavin Newsom said.
Oh, yeah.
This is Wesley Hunt. It's a longer cut, so I'm going to stop and start. But this is Wesley Hunt talking to Stephen A. Smith, because even Stephen A. Smith said, what in the world was Gavin Newsom thinking?
Gavin Newsom, I can feel one way about it. How did you feel about it?
I call it the soft bigotry of low expectations. There are a lot of black men and women that aren't like that. A lot of us really did study hard. We really did work very hard. You see, I had parents that believe in education. We had a sign in our house that said Jesus plus education equals success. There's a reason why my brother, sister, and I all went to West Point. There's a reason why I earned 3 master's degrees and 4 years from Cornell University. My brother is a Harvard Business School graduate. My sister has her master's degree in applied mathematics. It was a West Point instructor instructor while both my brother and I were cadets, and we were black doing it the entire time. And so when you say that I can't read and I have a 960 SAT, the insinuation that you are putting on all black people is that we are a monolith, is that this is how you view us. This is what you really think about us. And look, I understand some of it may have been a little bit tongue-in-cheek and he was pandering to an audience. But for whatever reason, I see a lot of pandering that comes from the left. I think about Hillary Clinton carrying hot sauce in her purse.
Remember we talked about that?
Yes.
We talked about that. But here, you know, the thing
I like
is,
how he says that I was black doing it the whole time.
he was black doing it the whole time, and you're right. And, you know, Wesley Hunt, I've always liked Wesley Hunt. But here's the thing. Why can't, instead of just pandering to the black community, which is, as Wesley Hunt said, what Gavin Newsom was doing, instead of just pandering, why can't Gavin Newsom just be himself?
Does Gavin Newsom know who he is? Like, who is Gavin Newsom to himself? I feel like he's not in touch with who he is at all.
He went to college on a baseball scholarship, if I'm not mistaken. And when he stopped being able to be a baseball player, his identity faded out of existence.
Well, he seems to have that classic politician syndrome or affliction where
the NMN syndrome?
Yeah. You don't know who he is, and you don't know how he really feels, and you don't really know what he would really do. It's just like Abigail Spanberger, right? It's the same thing. She said one thing. We've been talking about her the last couple of days. She said one thing on the campaign trail. Now she's doing something completely different in the state of Virginia. Gavin Newsom has been trying desperately. Remember that a couple, 2-3 weeks, Joan, where Newsom was trying to come off as a moderate, and it failed miserably?
Yes.
Gavin Newsom has several problems. Number one, you just look at the man, and he looks and he sounds like you can't trust him. Number two, he's willing to say anything to anybody for a vote, as we have seen in the last week or so. But there's also the issue of competence. Like, California is like a graveyard for his incompetencies. I mean, they are everywhere, from the train that goes to nowhere to the homes from the fires that have not been rebuilt to all of the people that have been killed by illegal aliens to the fraud that has been going on in California as well. If there's one state that really is a state that defines the corruption and the incompetence of the Democrat Party, it is the state of California.
And you didn't even have to use homelessness.
Homelessness! Thank you, Sam. Homelessness as well. How many millions of dollars did
is it 25 million?
We talked about this before. Remember this, Joan? $25 million?
Oh, yeah.
That was, or something like that was earmarked for homelessness. They don't know where the money went, and it got worse.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say million. How silly of me.
Was it billion?
24 to 37 billion.
That's unbelievable.
It's sick. It's sick.
That's just since 2019?
Yeah. So, you know, when Wesley Hunt starts throwing down on Gavin Newsom, he's absolutely right.
In her purse. I think about Joe Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. I think about Kathy Hochul talking about, you know, black kids don't even know what a computer is. And I see these kinds of things and I just shake my head. That is not who we are as a people.
It's like the Nashville's Morning News greatest hits. We've talked about all of these.
Now, Stephen, you talk about you didn't do good on your SATs, but you have a pretty extensive vocabulary, as I have heard over the years. So clearly, you're an astute man and you have studied quite a bit. But that's just it. We are not the same, and you have to understand why that's insulting to people like me. Gavin, you're not like me. I studied my butt off to get here. I worked my butt off to get here. Hard work, grit, determination, and I'm standing on my own 2 feet as a black man that represents a white majority district that President Trump would have won by 20 points, and I won by 25 points because I'm being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. And there are a lot of conservative white people and black people and Hispanic people that voted for me, but under no circumstances are you going to just belittle us by assuming that all black people have a 960 SAT and we can barely read.
Wesley Hunt, man, throwing it down. Again, I've always liked Wesley Hunt.
The other thing is he also looks like he could break Gavin Newsom in half.
He could. let's see. He was military.
Yeah, but
I don't know the
it's big.
preciseness
It's a
of
big
his
dude.
military career, but I know that he went to West Point and he was in the military. So
And he's proud of the fact that while he was at West Point, he stayed in the Robert E. Lee dormitories.
yes,
I love that he brings that up because he gets to say that that's part of his history and his legacy.
exactly. So, and I think he's got a huge political future ahead of him. He's very young. Wesley Hunt is still very young. I think he's probably in his 40s. So anyway, definitely
He's so smart. He's so smart, and he talks not like he doesn't have the Jasmine Crockett,
yes.
swing in her talk when she's addressing one
she
crowd or another.
There's street Jasmine and then there's private
Yeah.
school Jasmine.
And he doesn't have the dripping with insincerity that Gavin Newsom does. He's just a smart guy.
Let's see here. Eric says, yes, Wesley Hunt is my choice for VP president one day soon. 6226 says, Dan, the Democrats have a relatability problem. I think that's true. Do you think that's true? Because they don't act or believe like normal people, right? They don't act normal. I mean, that is certainly clear. And when you look at the relatability problem, I think that goes to the 80-20 issues, right? So 80% of the American people, probably a lot more, want legit elections. They support ID for voting and registering to vote and all that. People want still to see mass deportation like Donald Trump ran on. That's an 80-20 issue, and the Democrats are against that as well. The Democrats are against, streets being safe because they favor policies that favor the criminals. And so that's why the Democrats do have 6226, that relatability problem, because the American people are like, you believe what? So do we know, Joan, what time Bill Clinton is going to start his testimony?
Yeah, I could look it up, but yesterday it was in the 9 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So,
okay, so
yeah, something like that. Well, everybody came to the microphones first, the Republicans, and then the Democrats. So once it actually gets started behind doors, behind closed doors, is kind of iffy. So let me look it up.
All right, very good. Well, yesterday was Hillary's turn. And, she came out swinging in her deposition. So we're going to go through some of the things that were discussed. First of all, there was a bit of a controversy. Apparently, Lauren Boebert snapped the picture of Hillary and sent it to Benny Johnson. He posts that picture and all heck breaks loose. Now, it seems to me like Hillary was a little prickly, as a matter of fact. She was there for, what'd you say, Joan?
I just laughed at the notion that Hillary was prickly, just yesterday? I mean, she seems like she's prickly all the time.
I think she's been prickly ever since the day that Bill Clinton walked into her life, and probably before. Anyway, her opening statement was exactly as you would expect. She blasted Donald Trump, asked why they were not investigating the president. She said that she never met Jeffrey Epstein. This is how the Daily Mail frames it. Hillary said, if the majority were serious, it would not waste time on fishing expeditions. There's too much that needs to be done. What is being held back, she says, who is being protected, and why the cover-up? Despite her denials of any Epstein relationship, Hillary received a $20,000 donation from the disgraced pedophile in 1999 when she was fundraising for the DNC. So, leading into this whole thing and afterwards as well, just like today, apparently, which is what is happening, James Comer yesterday was leading the proceedings, and this is what he said after them.
Well, she said many times under oath that she had never met Jeffrey Epstein. The reason she was asked so many times is we kept presenting new items of evidence, emails from Epstein where he implied that he was very close with the Clinton family, including Hillary. Emails that implied that he set up the Clinton Foundation, that he was one of the biggest donors and one of the main early seed money raisers for the Clinton Global Initiative. And when we asked about that, Hillary said she didn't have anything to do with the Clinton Global Initiative at that time because she was a U.S. Senator. So she was asked many times about questions with respect to Jeffrey Epstein because there were many forms of evidence in the documents that have been released by the Department of Justice and the estate that included her name in there. And she kept saying not only did she not have a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, that he was a shyster and he was a con artist and all of that.
Have you seen the video or heard the audio when Hillary was asked why Ghislaine Maxwell was at her daughter's wedding, Chelsea's wedding in 2010?
No.
After she was implicated in Epstein's crimes. Listen to this. This is a very awkward moment for Hillary Clinton.
James Matthews from Sky News. Can I ask, why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to her daughter Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before that.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
You'll notice that she ends the press conference right after that. Like, we're done.
We're not digging in any further to that, thanks.
No, because she didn't want anyone to ask a follow-up.
Yeah.
This is part of what Hillary has said in the past related to Jeffrey Epstein and her relationship and Bill's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
We have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work.
Yeah, and, I do find it interesting because she said that she was willing to talk about it, but why did they have to subpoena them to come and talk about it? This has been, to hear James Comer put it, a 7-month process, and they were going to be hit with a contempt of court charge if they didn't respond.
Well, Hillary, it seems like the donations he was trying to make were unwarranted.
So she also says that they never met.
I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it, to me, is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about.
So, and then she goes on to talk about, of course, it should be about Donald Trump, and, it should be about trying to find the people who did abhorrent things to these girls, which is exactly what this is all about, i.e. Bill Clinton is 15 minutes away from being questioned by this committee. So the focus, yes, right now is to hold those who were in his network accountable. Jeffrey Epstein, obviously already gone. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. So now, the question
I have the
is...
answer to your question about when it starts.
Yes.
So apparently congressional depositions are typically scheduled during normal business hours. So between 9 and 10 a.m. local time, so that would be 8 to 9 a.m. here. Mm-hmm. The committee hasn't publicly confirmed it, though. So, it should typically start at the start of business day and wrap up at the end of business day.
So that's going to be, 8 hours, 9 hours of Bill Clinton? Ooh, that's going to be a long...
Basically, he'll just be saying this.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never.
Do you think he's gonna say, I did not have sex with that girl? As opposed to a woman, because Lewinsky was a...
Yeah. I mean,
was he talking about Hillary?
He might...
Sorry.
He might have to save face and go that any of the women I had sex with were of age.
I actually like Joan's joke better. Oh, was he talking about Hillary?
Yeah.
That was actually, I finally got that joke. Very funny, Joan. The big question is, the focus right now, who were in the network of Epstein? What did they do with these girls, and what is next in this investigation?
We are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent. The survivors deserve that. The public deserves that. But, you know, the Republican member of Congress who is running this hearing or this investigation is trying to protect the president. So let's get to what's really at stake here.
So Lauren Boebert, you may have heard about this yesterday, but Lauren Boebert was asked about a picture that she took inside of the hearing. And she just snapped a picture with her phone. She sends it to Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson posts it. It starts ricocheting around the internet and social media. And when the lawyers for Hillary Clinton found out about it, they immediately stopped all of the discussions, all of the questioning. And they were really upset. And the reason, I guess, why they were upset, because I'm thinking, you know, Joan, I'm thinking, what is wrong with a picture being taken of Hillary Clinton? Like, what's the big deal?
Well, she's going to try anything to stop the proceedings.
Right. She probably was trying to just waste some time. And but their reasoning, their justification was, well, if they're going to break that rule about no photographs inside of the hearing, well, then who knows what other rules they're going to break, which seems silly. I mean, number one, they're going to be at some point releasing the transcripts, and at some point the whole thing was recorded, and so they'll probably release the recording as well. I did like Lauren Boebert when they asked her about doing this.
I just returned to my hotel room and installed the BleachBit software and took a hammer to my iPad. So I guess in regards to any photos, I do not recall. You don't remember taking the picture of Clinton?
So if you didn't get the reference, we talked about this earlier. When Hillary, she deleted all of those files off of her computer. She said that she had bleached her computer. BleachBit, apparently, is an actual program that does delete computer files. And her lawyers deleted 30,000 personal emails. And, of course, they also took a hammer to some of the servers as well.
I'm shocked she didn't try to pour Clorox into the USB port.
Yeah, well, you know what? If she had Clorox, she probably would try it.
Or put it in Bill's drink.
Apparently, she was also, by the way, asked about Pizzagate and UFOs. I wonder, do you think that Chris Hanna's going to talk about Pizzagate today?
After we talked about the conspiracy theory behind the Wilson volleyball from Castaway?
Yeah.
How it's a representation of a face of a young person.
That is so dumb. That is just dumb.
But now he's got more fuel to the fire.
That's fine for Chris. That is fine for Chris. I love Chris. And I love what he brings to the table with that stuff.
To answer your question, yes, I think he will take that and run with it.
And you know what? You know what else is great is it's Friday, so Chris has an excuse to just go silly on that stuff.
Like it's any other day. I mean, honestly.
I know, Joan. You know what? that pause was me thinking.
He's
but wait.
in the car at this point.
Yeah,
he's listening.
He knows.
So Bill Clinton, how red-faced do you think Bill Clinton is going to get today? Because you know how he gets, right?
I think he's going to call in sick.
I am not feeling up to being deposed this morning.
By the way, Megyn Kelly has a new picture of Bill Clinton. We did talk about this way back in the 5 o'clock hour. Megyn Kelly has a picture of Bill. It's not good for the former president. Follow me on X, at Dan Mandis Show.
And this is my own piece of evidence that he wasn't shamed at all. Where a friend of mine and her friend at the time, this is 1999, were in a bar and Bill Clinton was there. And would you look at can you see this picture?
So there is a picture of Bill, and this is right after being impeached for Lewinsky. And if you look at the picture, it's Bill Clinton looking right down the top of this 20-something girl. I mean, it is... He's not even being discreet about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's probably, how old in that picture? How old was Bill Clinton? Look up how old Bill Clinton was when he was impeached. But, I mean, it is classic Bill Clinton.
Yes.
He is looking down the chest of my friend Meg Florence, and that's my other friend in the foreground, Abby Rittman. Here's the crazy, you probably know this place. They were from, actually just asked them, where was this? The Bombay Club in D.C.,
Yep.
1999. He was there with his wife and daughter.
I mean, come on, Bill. I mean, at least be discreet about it. He's 52 years old when he was, is that what it was, 52?
Yeah, he's 52 after he was impeached.
52 years old, and the point that Megyn Kelly is making, and it's a good point, which is he's just been impeached for doing things with Monica Lewinsky, and now he's at some bar or some club or whatever it is with his wife and daughter, and he's looking down the tops of these girls. You know, the story goes, I didn't go into this much.
President just wants to see some mountaintops, ladies.
Apparently what he did, as the story goes, is he walked up to these girls and asked if he could take a picture with them, not the other way around.
Oh.
That's not a creepy move, is it, Joe?
Oh, what?
Now you know you want to take a picture with the president now.
So
come on over here, girls, and get right under my arms. Right? I mean, honestly.
Well, and if you look at the photo, he's sort of standing a little bit behind the girls. Mm-hmm. So they can't see him looking down
Peering
the
down
top
their
of one of the... Yeah.
Now that's a border I'd like to cross.
This is James Comer leading the investigations and the depositions.
And what you're seeing is there is accountability finally happening. You've seen at least a dozen very powerful people, men and women, who have already resigned, many in disgrace from their board positions.
I mean, you got Prince Andrew, you've got Peter Mendelsohn, Bill and Hillary, of course, last couple of days. They're finally being, asked about all of this. Bill Gates had to cancel a bunch of events and confess. We told you about Kathy Rumler, Obama lawyer. She had to resign from Goldman Sachs. Thomas Pritzker, of course, had to resign as the Hyatt CEO. Larry Summers had to resign from Harvard.
Wait, JB's brother is in on this, or is that his
cousin?
dad?
It's his cousin.
Yeah, it's his cousin. Peter Attia had to resign from CBS News as a media contributor. So, slowly but surely, we are seeing some accountability here. We are seeing some people.
They're losing their jobs, but they're not going to jail.
You're right, Joan.
They need to be behind bars.
Here's the deal. Is there any evidence?
Yeah, there needs to be evidence.
There needs to be, and I am right there with you. My anger and my my want of justice for these girls is obviously something I want to see. But if there's no evidence, and how long ago is all this now? I mean, years and years. And I'm kind of with Chris on this, where those homes, Epstein's lawyer, I shouldn't go on and on about this, but, Epstein's homes, they were all wired.
Yeah.
So if there's evidence, how have we not seen it already? You know what I mean? How have we not seen it? Unless all of that stuff has been erased, covered up, whatever it is. And so, because remember, they've had, all the years of Obama and Biden. If they wanted to cull through all of that stuff and take some evidence out or erase it or whatever, they had the ability to do that. And the same thing we'll say about Donald Trump. If there is any evidence against Donald Trump, most certainly we have seen it already. Now, do I really think, and Joan, yes or no, you think people are actually going to be arrested for this?
I don't. I don't have confidence.
I have zero. James, how many years I played audio of James Comer? We're not going after Hunter Biden. We're going after Joe Biden, and we're going after Joe Biden for, bribery and blah, blah, blah. And nothing happened.
Comer, I love the guys. Yeah, he's
that's what I do,
guy.
Joan.
He says all the right things, and nothing happens.
Nope.
It's the John Thune effect.
Yeah, you know what? Unless you've got a puppy. You heard what they did. You heard what they did, right? They had a dog show
around the dogs. Oh my gosh!
First of all, how dare they? It's so insensitive to the Muslim members of Congress on the other side of the building to have dogs in there. That's just gross.
How dare they? And so they don't have time to pass the
right. That was what Thune said. There's not enough time.
Yeah, not enough time to do the Save America Act, but they can have a stupid dog show. I mean, again, I'm going to go back to realize the dog show may have been 30 to 45 minutes. I get it, but think about the perception, because people like us are looking at what you're doing, and we're like, really? Is this really what you're doing with your time?